Plug it in, plug it in.
Yeah. We're early, so we'll have to just go get your share.
Make sure people know we exist. That's what I gotta do.
Get your button hitting done while I sit here and entertain the masses with my singing voice.
Oh, God.
No, not the singing voice. My stand-up comedy routine. Been watching a lot of stand-up on Netflix recently because what the hell else?
There's things.
Mostly bad.
Well,
there's a lot of it. There is a lot of it.
There is a lot of it, yeah.
There's a lot of it.
That's right. Apparently, there's a new Netflix original movie I saw some people online talking about that's bad enough I need to try watching it. Nobody in the comments on Reddit had made it past 20 minutes in, apparently.
That sounds like a thing.
Yeah, it sounds pretty bad.
I'm excited. The second season of Mr. Iglesias is dropping next week, so
yeah,
that was pretty good. We talked about that last week, didn't we? So
no, I don't recall.
Who was I talking to about that? Sort of like Welcome Back, Cotter, or Head of the Class. Well, I was thinking it was us that talked about
Maybe.
that.
I didn't remember anything.
All right, I just talked to myself, and that's good enough.
Well, I would not be surprised.
We're letting him hit all the buttons, letting you folks gather up here.
I just hit
get
some
numbers
buttons.
going. You know, we were a minute or so logging in there, trying to get it all rolling. We do have a lot for you. If you like the stuff we got, it's going to be good. And if you don't, you should just leave now.
You should just leave now. Yep. I got about all the sharing I can do right off the bat. I may do a little bit more in a minute.
All your sharing?
Yeah, I can do a lot more sharing, but you know.
All right. So, welcome, Guildies. I'm going to get rolling.
Go rolling.
It is that time again. You have turned your media machines to the proper frequency to catch a little bit of the rarefied air that Alan and I breathe every week and get a treat of another episode of Chatter the Squirrels. We are grateful. Alan and I both are grateful for those of you that do tune in every week and share our love of gaming. We're allowed to share that with you, and you guys are really good. We like to bring you tidbits of trivia, information that we pick up through the week, mainly Magic related, but we try to share other stuff. We got a couple other tidbits this week. Maybe you find tantalizing, maybe you don't. But we are going to be discussing our weekly events. We're going to talk about the Commander rules and the updated ban list. We're going to talk about, is it okay to take a break from Magic? I have a 25 years ago in Magic segment, so history of Magic. And, of course, we're going to talk a bunch about Core Set 2021.
Yep, we got a...
But first, we would be remiss if we didn't mention the Black Lives Matter movement that's going on. And I'm going to tell you right now that some of you may have just dropped out. I live in a part of the world where that's possible. Some of the people who watch me maybe quit with just that mention. But it would not. It would not surprise me, okay? But I'm really afraid to say anything because I come from a part of the world, and this isn't an excuse, it's just reality, where certain things are certain ways. That doesn't excuse it. I'm just telling you that's how a lot of us were raised around here. So I want the closest I've been able to get is I saw somewhere where I understand that I will never understand, but I still stand with you. So I do understand. I'm just afraid that I won't be able to speak the right words or do the right things when the times come, all right? But I'm privileged. I've been privileged all my life. I didn't realize that till I was in my 40s. I didn't realize that till I was in my 40s. But I have been privileged, and not everybody is privileged, and we do need things to change. And I don't know, hopefully I hit somewhere between tokenism and pandering or going overboard or going too far. I don't know, you know. Right. So if at any time in the guild you're ever uncomfortable for any reason, not just because of Black Lives Matter, not just because of racial inequality or any of those things, and we'll talk a little bit more about it a little later when we talk about taking a break from Magic. We're going to get into it a little bit. I hope that you feel like you can talk to me. If it is me, I still hope you can talk to me, because that's not what we're about. Our gaming community, I think that's one thing about gamers, is that primarily gamers have always been an inclusive community.
Yes.
So that's what we strive for here at the Guild, and if we're falling short, I'd like to know about it so we can shore that up.
Right.
And I will endeavor to do better than I've done well. I will endeavor to do better every day. And so that's an unprepared statement because I was afraid I would say the wrong things, but that's what we're going with right there. Now, last week we did mention there was a National Day of Mourning because of George Floyd incident that has sparked all of these riots and all of this protest and concern. I know riots is the wrong thing to say, but we've had those too. And if we're going to have a frank and open discussion, we have to discuss those parts as well.
We do.
So, if you've been following along, and maybe you haven't heard, but yesterday, Wizards of the Coast made an announcement that they were banning 7 cards, and they were taking the images down from Gatherer, and they were banned in all tournament play. Not that any of them were really tournament cards, to be honest, but they were doing that, and that's just the beginning, okay?
Yes.
They promised more action, and probably more cards.
I would imagine there are some cards from the beginning of Magic's history which, almost 30 years later, in retrospect, do not look good.
So the most egregious example was Invoke Prejudice, which by a random twist of fate had an ID. I don't even know how you find the ID number. But it had an ID number in the Gatherer system.
Multiverse ID number.
That I had to look it up. I didn't even know it.
Yeah.
Honest. But it was a reference
to neo-Nazism.
Okay, I don't know if we should even say that, but okay. But it was. So they've removed that ID tag. Right. They've removed the card image. As well as Cleanse, Crusade, Imprison, Stone Throwing Devils,
Jihad.
And Jihad.
And
is that 7?
Praetus Gypsies.
And Praetus Gypsies. Those cards, gone. If you needed those cards to play Magic and you can't play without it, I hope you find a good hobby.
Yeah.
Because they're gone, they're banned.
They're never coming back.
They're not coming back. Commander is following suit. They'll
Yes.
be banning Commander as well. You won't be allowed to play them in this store. That's just the way it is. And there may be more.
Yeah.
So if you're not happy with that, well, it was nice knowing you.
Yeah.
And there's the door, as they say. Don't let it hit you in the ass on the way out.
Right.
That's just the way it is.
It was something, especially Invoke Prejudice specifically, I can't believe it hasn't been done years before. But
if you're unsure, you can still find images on the internet. The internet is wide and deep. If you don't know what it is, we're not going into it here.
I mean, almost at the time it was printed, it was even some people, but
I'm not willing to go into the details there.
Right.
WotC has a long ways to go with their hiring practices.
Yes.
Hopefully they're looking into that, as a lot of us do. So if this is an uncomfortable subject for you, I think that's good. I am going to bring up one more thing that's related to this. Recently, and I don't think I brought this up on the show. I think I talked to somebody with it. On one of the forums, it's not a forum, it's a Facebook group.
Right.
There was a group that I was a member of where they were talking about discussing politics and the like in the store. And most places said no. They shut it down if it started. They didn't allow wear political shirts into the store. They asked them to turn wrong side out, put a coat over them. They just didn't allow that kind of thing. And I said, well, I'm exactly opposite. I encourage that kind of thing in my store because I believe without communication, we're all living in ignorance.
Yes.
And I don't know that I've communicated enough on this to not be ignorant of it. And that's why I didn't want to say the wrong words. So let us communicate in a civil discourse, a pleasant manner. And if you can't do that, there's the door. It's fine. I have a lot of friends that I know are going to have issues with some of these statements, with some of these things going on. They're still my friends, but they need to get their brain work going. Okay? Relatives, friends.
Right.
But anyway, I'm a believer in the discourse, so we're going to talk about it in the guild.
Yes.
I hope you feel free to talk about it in the chat. Again, I can't see it since Facebook changed. If there's discussion in the chat, that's fantastic. Please be civil. If not,
Thank you, Australia, and thank you, Nathan Bennett. We got much love from Australia.
Much love from Australia
for standing up and talking about a difficult subject.
I wish the plane tickets were not so expensive.
Right.
Australia seems like a wonderful place to visit. So anyway, we are making an attempt. I don't know exactly how I move forward. I'll be honest. I would love to be involved, but I've never been I've never been an activist.
Right.
So, but I can try in my own life. I am way different than I was raised.
Yes, you were.
I was raised in the Midwest, and I was raised. I don't want to say bad words about people I love, but I was raised a certain way, and I grew and got my own thoughts, and I learned, and I was wrong for a long time about many things. But you can change. People can change
Growth
if they will
and change
open
is
their
part of
mind.
life.
If you will open your mind and listen, who already agree with you, you can grow and change. And I continue to grow and change. Transgender has been a difficult subject for me. It's been a hard thing for me to learn. I still don't get it all right, but
you're trying. That's the important part.
Look, you live your best life. Let me live my best life. We've got to interact on some level, right? But we don't have to agree about everything. We don't have to like each other at the end of the day. We can still be humans to one another. So, I want everybody to live the best life they can live. And ultimately, it doesn't matter if you're a man or woman or I don't even know all the terms.
Yeah, and a moment ago, I think you just said the most important thing, though, is we can all be human to each other.
We can all be human to each other. Skin color doesn't matter.
No. Really, that's what a lot of what's going on around the world boils down to, is people being people deserve to be treated like humans, being human to one another. The fact that there is so much argument about the subject is that's part of the problem.
Move on with. I've been on the other side for probably more of my life than I've been on. I think the side that I'm on now. Let's be honest, But tear those statues down.
Yeah,
peacefully.
Right.
I don't believe anyone needs to be injured in these things. That's where I'm drawing a line there. But yeah, we don't need statues up. We don't need Confederate flags flying around. We don't. Yeah. We don't need those. We don't.
Like many other people have said, though, to put it just common sensely, you don't build statues to the people that lose the war.
I don't believe. I didn't Google this, but I'm pretty sure if you go over to Germany and start strolling around, you don't see a lot of Hitler statues.
No.
As you stroll around in Germany,
you'll be. If you had one, you'd be thrown in a dark hole.
No. So, anyway, we've already spent more time on this than I sort of allotted for it. We got a lot to get to tonight.
It's a busy night,
We
guys.
appreciate you guys sticking with us. We're going to continue on with the normal show stuff because we do have a lot of things.
We got a lot of stuff. A lot of stuff happening tonight.
A lot of things are going to be quick hits here.
Right.
So we are back, and I just found out this evening, our governor told us we are fully open as of Tuesday the 16th.
Right.
Meaning that going forward, no caps on the people in the store, none of that stuff. So, and I've already been running some events, but tomorrow night is F&M, and it's standard.
$5.
We're going to be opening some packs at the end, so stay tuned for that. I forgot to mention that. We'll be busting the packs at the end.
Busting our promo packs, guys.
All of those are going out tomorrow night, because on Saturday night,
it is live from Grove Gamers Guild. It'll be board games Saturday night.
That's right. You don't need Saturday Night Live. You got board game Saturday night right here at the Guild. So come out for that. That's what we got going on this week. That's our two big nights, Friday and Saturday. Starting next month on Thursdays on July 9th, we'll be doing Commander Nights.
Hey.
So watch for more information on that. As soon as I get a little bit more information,
Yeah.
You guys will have it too, but I know it starts July 9th, all right? So this is some related news that's not really game news, but if you collect comics, if you've ever bought comic books,
most of us have.
You may or may not know that Diamond has had basically this monopoly for about 25 years.
Exclusive rights to DC for a
and Marvel.
Yeah.
And a lot of people. If you wanted to get comic books, you had to get them from Diamond.
Yep.
Well, with the COVID-19 shutdown and so forth, and comics for the first time in 80 years not even being printed, things changed. There was an out in the contract and whatnot. And so DC actually set up a couple of big retailers
Yep.
as distributors, and they have cut Diamond out of it.
Yeah.
Diamond is not even a DC. They don't carry DC
Yep.
anymore.
It was a
They've
big
been
deal.
cut out. Now, the way that this is adjacent to gaming is that I don't know if it's Geppy or Geppy, Geppi. That's the guy who owns it. His organization also owns Alliance, which is a game distributor.
Yes.
They recently lost their exclusive thing, their exclusive agreement with Asmodee.
Okay. Which is a major.
They carry Fantasy Flight. They carry
Yeah.
a bunch. So anyway, that went to ACD. So there seems to be a little turmoil going on there. When they shut down, they told creditors they were going to pay them either 10 or 20 cents on the dollar each month until things got better. That was part of their shutdown thing. I think I got that number right. So anyway, that's adjacent. Those are things that are going on. Is this where you wanted to mention your thing?
Yeah. This is a gaming thing. It's pen and paper gaming adjacent. But yesterday, a trailer dropped. It showed up on my feed. Some of you guys may have seen it if you've been for a new video game that'll be coming out. I don't remember the release date, but Werewolf the Apocalypse is going to be getting a video game.
White Wolf.
White Wolf game, that's right. We've already got news earlier this year that we are going to be getting a sequel to Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines, which is a PC game back in the 90s. I remember playing it when I was a kid. But now
the day.
Yeah. Now it looks like we're also going to be getting Werewolf the Apocalypse, a White Wolf, after almost completely going under and no longer existing, actually. It looks like things are back to...
There's been a lot. We would need a whole show just to, and a lot of notes to be able to follow it.
Yeah.
They rebooted Vampire last year.
Yeah.
That sold pretty good for me. I've got some of the stuff left here. So anyway, there's some gaming-related stuff, even though it's a digital game.
It's a digital thing, but that IP is getting out there, and hopefully that means we'll see a new edition of Werewolf books printed like we did with Vampire
Possibly.
books.
Hey, if you were wondering about them, for my local guys, because again, I don't ship, so sorry for you Australia people. But mystery boosters came in today, so your LGSs, these are going to probably vary a little bit because shipping has been somewhat altered the last 3 months. But my mystery boosters came in today, so I have them for a limited time till I sell out of them. $140 a box here at the store. I am reserving a few of them for some drafts.
Right.
I sold a couple of them today. So, they came in this afternoon, but I do have them in stock.
Them open them.
So, check with me on those. And you get that cool Mecha Godzilla.
The Mecha Godzilla.
Buy a box card. So, hit up your LGS. Help them out, man. These were donated by WotC. Props to them for that.
Yeah, that's an amazing...
Every dollar straight in my pocket. Really helping out. Really. So last week we talked a little bit about singles prices, and we haven't traditionally done that really here. So let's talk a little bit about your Magic budget. You can build budget decks, and those are fine, especially if you do Pauper. You can build budget decks in any, and budget means different things to different people. We could try to build a $10 standard deck. That'd be pretty hard. We could probably get a $50 one, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's just going to vary. But what I'd like to talk to you about is that your budget deck of today might hold value down the road.
Yes.
Or you might want to spend a little money on value today that will pay back in the future. A couple things you can do is that if you're going to pick up, say, Azusa's getting reprinted in Core 21. She's traditionally been an expensive card.
Yes.
Maybe you pick up an extra one while she's in standard, because she's going to go back up after she rotates out. Pick up an extra one you don't need for your commander deck, and then when she goes back up, all of a sudden you've got some trade fodder. Down the road, you've just picked for X dollars, and she's now worth 3 times that.
Right.
And some of the cards you pick up today, this is a thing that happens in Commander. You build a Commander deck, and most Commander players don't just tear down every deck to build a new one.
No.
I've got 20-some decks, probably. So I just don't just tear them down. So you build a deck, maybe you forget about it a little bit, build a new deck, and then a couple of years later, it's like, oh, look, I have this deck, and maybe you're not interested in playing it anymore.
Right.
Start tearing it down, it's like, oh look, here's a Cyclonic Rift I picked up when it was $3.
Right.
When it first came out, now it's a $20 card or whatever, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Or look, oh, here's that Azusa, that extra Azusa or whatever. I threw it in this deck. Now she's worth $35 or $50 or whatever. So you can play on a budget, and you can play smartly by picking up your singles. The other thing I want to say is that on the cards that you know you don't want, please trade them in either to another player or to your LGS, because that's what makes the economy go. I can't open enough boxes to get all the singles my players want.
Right.
I'm pretty small for one thing, but it's just not going to happen.
Yeah.
The odds are against me. I need you to bring me cards, or your LGS, wherever you're watching from. Trade in the cards you know you don't want, that you're not going to play, to get cards that you do, and then that's going to help the next guy who comes in and goes, man, I wish they had an extra Azusa. Well, hey, you just traded in an Azusa.
Right.
This guy gets an Azusa.
That's how it all keeps churning.
That's how the economy works. So I just wanted to hit on that a little bit because we talked a little bit about it last week. I normally don't buy a lot of singles. I do store credit. I do buy collections. I bought a collection yesterday, a small one, and then break that up, pull the singles out of it worthwhile, and then I sell the chaff out, So I do have some chaffs for sale for my locals, so check it out. I've got some chaff. And I have some new cards, a couple of Goblin Guides and some other stuff.
Nice. Yeah, I saw the Goblin Guides. They actually look pretty good.
So, now, we also mentioned, you have anything to add to that?
No, I don't have anything here. I think we're ready to move on.
Commander.
Yeah.
So, Commander made a change last weekend at Command Fest.
Yep.
Over the weekend.
The online Command Fest.
The online Command Fest. It was a paper.
It was paper, but it was...
they played with, I forget, there's a new... Spellbook, thank you.
Yeah.
Supposedly that's pretty good.
Yeah. I
So
think
if
that
you're
was
looking to play paper over the internet, Spellbook, check it out. I haven't done it because you know me and my digital stuff. So.
I think the Command Fest Online was kind of its big coming out party, too. I don't think it was a brand new thing, but I don't think it had that kind of exposure.
I do hear it takes a lot of bandwidth, so you need really good internet speed, because if you're playing 4 people, it's going to send your feed to all 4 of those, and it's going to send all their feeds to you.
Right.
So it takes
It's going to eat up bandwidth in a hurry.
Yeah. Anyway, they made an announcement that going forward, in case you didn't know, because some of you didn't.
Yeah.
Commander dies triggers don't happen, or used to.
Because they never went to the graveyard.
In exile, that was a replacement effect.
You sent them straight to the command zone was the option you had, so they never hit the graveyard to trigger. They have now made the decision, and I think you have the exact wording.
Right, we'll go over that in a minute.
But
the Child of Alara is something most people understand. Child of Alara dies, it destroys all non-land permanents.
Right.
They can't be regenerated. Well, it didn't work before if she was your commander.
Right.
If you were doing that, then you were doing it wrong. But now you're okay.
Yeah.
So going forward, this is how it's going to work. If a commander is in a graveyard or in exile, and that card was put into that zone since the last time state-based actions were checked, its owner may put it into the command zone. If a commander would be put into its owner's hand or library from anywhere, its owner may put it into the command zone instead. This replacement effect may apply more than once to the same event. So you still, if you bounce it or tuck it, you still get to put it in. You still get to put it in the command zone.
But now, if it dies, it does hit the graveyard. It's now kind of similar to a token. It does hit the graveyard, but then it's gone. It'll go to your command zone.
Yep.
But it will trigger those things.
A lot of people are using Alinda, the Dusk Rose, as a common thing because it didn't work before.
Yeah, I
now
think
it does.
I think her price doubled plus overnight.
Kokusho, the Evening Star, and all of the Spirit Dragons from Kamigawa, they now work right. Kokusho used to be banned as a commander when they had separate lists. Now,
it's going to get banned.
We may see it get banned again. I don't know. There's a lot of abuses you can do with Kokusho with death triggers.
Roll-esque, Apex Hybrid, he will work now.
Child of Alara mentioned.
Child of Alara.
There's going to be a bunch of them.
Sir Conrad's going to trigger twice now. Or Sir Conrad triggers will trigger twice, because it will go to the graveyard and then it will leave the graveyard.
Yeah,
go to the command zone.
You get 2 triggers.
So
Sir Conrad gets really, really good.
Yeah.
Some do get worse, like Rayhan, Last of the Abzan.
Yeah.
And I don't have him pulled up here, but he actually is worse, and I'm trying to remember what he does off the top of my head, and of course, that is not.
Does it make Gerard? Gerard's still just the same, right? They printed Gerard with the funky text last year, so that he kind of worked.
I haven't seen anybody discussing him. I'd assume he still works the same.
Yeah, I don't remember exactly what his. So I was just making sure they didn't somehow mess up the card they made to get around the problem.
Okay. So Rayhan says whenever a creature you control dies or is put into the command zone, if it had one or more +1/+1 counters, you may put that many +1/+1 counters on target creature.
Okay, so it doesn't really it stays the same, mostly. Dies or put into the command zone, so. But,
Okay, so,
yeah,
to...
this is going to really help our any kind of aristocrat decks in a way. Your Blood Artifacts, Grave Pact effects, they're going to trigger on your commanders now.
Yep.
They're going to trigger on everybody's commanders now.
Yeah. Yeah, so you don't have to track differences.
Right.
If you were doing that before, you don't have to. Oh, we had 11 creatures go for Blood Artists. Oh, wait, 2 of them were commanders. Well, changed. No, it just count all of them.
Just count all of it.
Count all of them. I don't even think we mentioned this since it doesn't work anymore.
I don't think so. You almost confused me when you did.
Yeah, we did that in, I think I did that in
Reblog
and shouldn't have. Yeah. So that's going on in Commander. That's effective now.
Yeah.
So if we play some Commander this weekend, that's how it works.
That's how it works.
So I guess I'll have to go looking for some Death Triggers Commanders now. Because I've never built a Death Triggers Commander because you couldn't.
I don't know if I have an Alinda sitting somewhere, if I traded them off because they didn't work in Commander, because I remember thinking, hey, this would be cool for Commander, then finding out that, it's not.
It's not, no.
So I don't know if I still have one or if I traded them all away because didn't have anything to do with them.
All right, so Star City announced its tour, which has been canceled through, I think, August.
Yes.
They're going to take it online, and it's going to work very similar to the way Channel Fireball was doing their stuff in Arena. So if you want to get in on some Star City events, you can do them through Arena. I think this week.
I believe this week.
Yeah. So anyway, that's a thing that happened.
Yep. Also, speaking of Arena and the historic format.
Were we speaking of the historic format?
We are now.
All right, let's speak of it. Talk about Winona Ryder. I mean, Winona, the Judge. I mean, Winona.
Yes. Winona, joiner of forces. Suspended in historic. What was that, yesterday?
Yeah, they don't ban. They suspend so they don't have to give you a wild card for a few months till they decide, and what is it?
Field of the Dead.
Field of the Dead
came off the suspended list because of the things they added to historic. Since they are curating historic.
They fixed it, yeah.
They feel like.
But Winona is just too powerful.
Winona is too powerful. They hit Agent of Treachery first, hoping that, but I've heard a lot of people say they were afraid Winona would still end up getting it because there's just too many things you can.
Too many things.
Too many good humans. I mean, it's the problem.
What is 6 is pop, right? So
yeah.
Yeah, I mean, your chances on 6 is good. Your
chances on 6 are good.
Ever heard of this Coco thing?
Yeah, and humans, it's the #1 tribe in the history of Magic. You guys know that? There's more humans than anything.
Humans.
So.
All right, so I started kind of last week. A lot of times I don't really get into articles I read, but I started last week discussing some of the articles I read. So Making Magic, which is the weekly column by Mark Rosewater, talked a little bit about Core Set 2021 and Jumpstart this week and how they work together. So if you're not familiar with Jumpstart, that's going to come out July 17th.
Yes.
And it's going to be packs of 20 cards that are themed, not necessarily tribal, but a theme. And you'll take 2 of those packs, and it comes with lands in them.
Together.
Shuffle them together. If you ever played Smash Up, which is a board card game, non-collectible, and you shuffle them together and you play. So they built Jumpstart at the same time that they were doing Core Set 21, and they made a lot of synergy. There's like 120 cards out of Core Set that are in Jumpstart. But there's also, I think, a few hundred reprints.
Yeah, do we have a number on how many?
I want to say 500 cards
500
total,
cards?
But I'm not sure.
I wasn't sure if I had seen a number.
There's 121 different themes.
Right, okay, yeah.
121. And the lands are going to have going to represent the theme of the deck. So we already got previewed a Dogland.
Right.
Okay, so that means there's
Not
going
a
to be
Hound
there's going to be a
land.
Goblin land. There's going to be a lot.
Yeah.
Okay, so a bunch of reprints.
Yeah, we don't even know what yet.
So
obviously.
that's how it's played. It's going to be real easy for new players to pick up. It's going to be real easy to play casually. I'm really thinking with every pack, I may hand out a team bag. Team bag's usually what I put your cards in when you buy a bunch of singles. And that way when you pop that pack, so inside the pack, there's a pack.
Yes.
And that pack, you can't tell what it is, but it's got a cover card that tells you what the theme is. So once you open a couple or maybe multiples, you can kind of mix and match. So I'm thinking you take that team bag, and when you're done playing, you separate your decks back out, put that cover card on it, slip it in the team bag, sticky it down, and now you just save them, and you can mix and match at leisure.
Yep.
For those who like that sort of thing. If you just want to rip out the really cool stuff they reprinted or the cards you want for your deck, you can do that as well.
Yeah.
Because why not?
Magic cards are magic cards, man.
Magic cards are magic cards. So, but he talked a little bit about how that was all developed, and they worked together to go, hey, we got this cat deck, and we found these cats we want to reprint. Can you put a couple more cats in Core 21? Sure, more cats.
Yeah.
Boom, now we can make another theme deck. So, and I continue to be impressed with the articles on Hipsters of the Coast. If you guys aren't checking out Hipsters of the Coast, they post a lot of stuff for the artists. When they sell their stuff, they tell you, you know, new record price set, or so much money. But they're also basically, I don't know, are they like the rooters of the Magic world?
Kinda.
So
That's where they've been really.
They give us the news. They're the news cycle, right? And they have some really good people writing articles. So I read an article this week. Do I have it down here? I thought I had it down here. Where's it at? Travis Norman.
Yeah.
It's okay to take a break from Magic. So I agree and I disagree. I agree that if the game is too much for you, if you're not having fun with it, and this goes with anything. If you're playing softball and it's been 11 seasons and you're just like, I don't want to play softball this year, or man, bass fishing is a drag, or that golf course, I'm just tired of going. You should step back and find something else. You should do something else.
At least get some reflection.
I don't think you like fire sale everything.
No.
I don't think you sell your golf clubs. I don't think you sell all your Magic cards. I don't think you get rid of your bat and glove and all that. I don't think you do all those things. I think you step back, you find something else, and you let yourself come back to your love.
Right.
And if enough time passes and you never want to go back, then maybe you do something.
Sell your collection. That's the appropriate thing. It doesn't need to
trade your golf clubs for a bass boat. I don't know,
Right.
whatever, because now you're bass fishing.
Good trade, I think.
So
I don't know.
it depends. Have you seen? I don't
fair.
golf, but I've heard stories of golf clubs that cost some large sums of money. Friend who liked to skate, owned a skating rink, and the first time he told me there were $1,000 skates, it blew my mind. This is like 25 years ago, like 4. I mean, without what? Why? What? I don't even skate. And it's like that. No. Yeah.
It's a thing.
It's a thing. So, I think Magic is a really good thing to have right now, because even if we're about to get fully open here in Missouri, not every place is, and who's to say it'll stay that way?
Right.
But it's a really good hobby. And it might be a good time to be teaching your significant other, your kids, your aunt, uncle, grandma, next door neighbor, whatever, And it's a fun activity. Lots of ways to play. I can show you a ton of ways to play and ways that you can play with your cards in different ways. So I think it's all right to look at it that way. We got some people dropping out, dropping out and dropping in. But if you're burnt out, take a break. One of the things he talks about is format fatigue. That's kind of weird to me since there's so many formats.
Right.
But I guess if your normal play group plays Commander and you get burnt out on Commander and you don't have any place to go play Pauper or Modern or Standard or Kitchen Table or Vintage or Legacy or
draft somewhere.
Or whatever, Cube, then I guess you can have format fatigue. Another thing he talks about, and I alluded to this earlier, and that's social fatigue.
Yeah.
And again,
that can happen with anything.
Being, privileged as I am, I I don't have to worry when I'm in my shop, but I don't have to worry about what other people might say or I might hear or think I might hear. I don't have the problems that I know women have experienced in the past and still do in some game shops. I don't have to worry, am I the only woman at the shop? Am I the only black person in the shop? Is there anybody else there that speaks my language? We don't have anybody coming in speaking another language.
Right.
Whatever that issue might be, I haven't experienced that on a personal level. But if you are, then I understand. I may not fully understand, but I want to try to help you.
Right.
So if you come to the local guild right here, I'd like to help with that. So yeah, board games are a good thing if you need to step away. We got board game Saturday night coming.
Yep.
Come play some board games.
Play some D&D. Really escape to another world if you need to.
Yeah.
Sometimes
Or Pathfinder, people play Pathfinder.
Yeah, but
some White Wolf.
A White Wolf, pick up an RPG, pen and paper, and
Champions. I got a group plays in here every couple of weeks. Play some Champions.
Become a new person. I mean that that can really help you get away and reset.
Maybe go read some comic books.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
not from Diamond, not from Diamond, but
well, Diamond still has comic books, just not DC.
Right.
Won't get your Superman there, but that's not your problem. You just go to a comic shop. They're getting them where they need to.
Yes, they are.
All right. 25 years ago in Magic, I've kind of taken this to a once a month kind of thing, maybe twice here and there, depending if there's a big month. 25 years ago in Magic, the very first pre-release was held, and that was for Ice Age. And I believe, I forgot to look this up, I believe it was in Toronto, Canada.
You have it written down.
I do have it written down. Man, I am good.
Yeah.
I'm just old and forget stuff. So it was in Toronto, Canada, June 2nd to 4th. And Dave Humphreys won it. Dave Humphreys is employed at WotC. Still, and actually was one of the lead developers for Ikoria, I believe. So it was the first expansion that could be played totally independently of all the other cards. It came in its own tournament pack. You could just play with Ice Age.
I think one of the biggest things that really pushes it that direction too is that it had its own lands. Lands that only
none of the other packs had come with lands.
Right.
You can only get those Alpha Beta Unlimited tournament packs. That's it.
Right. So that it was truly an expansion.
And see, if you don't know, this is the fact that Richard Garfield envisioned the game totally reinventing itself periodically.
Yes.
Because he thought people would buy 3 or 4 packs and then they'd come out with a new world.
Yeah.
A new set with new themes. Well, they abandoned that quick because they saw that's not what people wanted.
Right.
Thank goodness, right? They were even going to put different backs on them.
We are this close to having Arabian Nights having a pinkish purple back.
Yep. Look it up. It's out there, people, if you haven't ever seen it.
Yep.
So anyway, with Ice Age, they ended up doing about 8% reprints, about 8% functional reprints. So in other words, there's like a Balduvian bear in there instead of a grizzly bear.
Right.
That's a functional reprint. Okay? It's a 2/2 for a green and 1, you know.
A Fendhorn elf instead of a Llanowar elf.
Yeah, that kind of thing. They changed the white mana symbol. So the white mana symbol you know of today first came into being with Ice Age. Go look at the old cards. The white mana symbol is different.
Slightly different.
The tap symbol, which started with 4th edition, this is the first expansion it was in, and we still have that today. Before that, they wrote tap on it.
And there was a short period at Revised where there was a skew T. It said
to show it tap.
Yeah, to show it tap.
Skew T, yeah. So this set was designed by the that had helped Richard Garfield develop Alpha. And primarily that was Scaff Elias, who later on would become a brand manager, a senior VP of R&D, and he came up with the idea for the Pro Tour.
Yeah. I've heard a lot, listening to Drive to Work with Mark Rosewater, I've heard a lot about Scaff.
Yeah, he was very instrumental in early Magic.
Yes.
But in the early days, the game was so hot, and they were trying to develop sets so quickly because people wanted cards.
Yeah. They couldn't.
Up until Ice Age, they had always set the print run. Like, we're going to print this many cards.
Yep.
With Ice Age, they just printed them for X amount of time, kind of like they do now with standard sets.
Yeah.
And so I think when they used to release numbers, we had about 500 million Ice Age cards that got printed. but there was not a lot of oversight, and R&D wasn't developed like it is today. Okay? At the time, designers were given freedom to either compose their sets entirely out of new cards or to use the commons from Alpha Edition and create only new uncommons and rares. The Ice Age group, who saw themselves as improving on Alpha Edition, chose to reuse many staples. The design goals are best described by Scaphulize himself. I found this intriguing, that's why I'm reading it.
Yes.
We wanted a set where flying was special, not just an extra word tacked on to every played creature. We wanted a set where the idea that a color was short on creatures meant something. We wanted a set where the allied colors were played more often with each other than the enemy colors were. We wanted strategy and simple creature combat as well as flashy enchantments that gave you cards for life. We wanted games to last longer. When we started the design of the set, the Magic environment was too fast due to unlimited card restrictions. And have more turnabouts. After Alpha Edition was published, it was quickly realized that the players were ravenous for new cards and would not, at that time, stomach reprints of commons they had already seen.
Yeah.
The presence of the reprinted commons would lead to the delayed release and the redesign of Ice Age. This was both good and bad.
Yeah.
More cards were created, some of which were slated to replace reprints, and more time was available to test those cards. Unfortunately, last-minute untested additions to improve the strength of the expansion themes added complication to the cards and seemed clunky. Snow-covered lands were added late to improve the environmental theme, which would explain why the snow-covered mechanic was so poorly developed.
That makes sense because, yeah, snow-covered started with Ice Age, but it wasn't very good in Ice Age.
It wasn't good. I'd like to see it done right or done well, and I really hope that we can get back there someday.
Yeah.
But yeah, we had stuff like Brainstorm, which was...
That's where we first got Brainstorm.
A less powerful Ancestral Recall. Demonic Consultation, which is sort of like a tutor.
Kind of.
We had the Fendorn Elves he mentioned.
Yep.
Illusions of Grandeur, which got some fame when it was combined with Donate
Great
later on. Incinerate was seen as a pretty weak version of Lightning Bolt.
Yeah, 2 mana, man. 2 mana.
But it has since been decided to be too powerful for its cost until it returned to 10th edition.
Because they don't like red.
Jester's Cap was seen as a really powerful card because it lets you interfere with your opponent's deck.
Yep.
But it's virtually unplayable in today's world.
Yep.
Necropotence originally was a bad rare and even called the worst rare of the set by Inquest magazine. That's a printed thing that you can go find if you can find it. Worst card in the set.
Yep.
Worst rare.
I broke Magic.
Look up Black Summer while you're looking stuff up and you'll see that people figured out how to use Necropotence.
Yeah.
So there was a lot of a lot of stuff.
Pox.
Pox, Zernorb, a lot of fun cards from the set. So that's your history lesson for today. That's 25 years ago in Magic. The first pre-release, and we're getting ready to do like close to the 100th pre-release.
Pretty close, yeah.
I think we're in the 80s or 90s at this point. So a lot.
Yeah, man. I mean, I only started doing pre-releases at like Stronghold or Exodus or something.
Mirage was my first. I think I already told that story,
Yeah.
but Mirage is my first one in Wichita, Kansas. Okay, so while there's no actual story with the core set, because core sets aren't built around a story,
No.
they just decided we'll make it about Teferi.
Right. Last year it was about Chandra.
Yeah. They do have some lore that they're putting out, so if you go to wizardsofthecoast.com
Right.
and you look, magicthegathering.com, whatever.
Magic.wizards.com.
Yeah. They are showing some of the cards and giving a little bit of history for them, like a little bit of history to Fairy, a little bit of story about Chandra, and certain cards.
Right.
So you can go get a little of that. So also starting with the core set play season, which starts the 26th,
Yeah.
you can come into the store, and I'm going to try to explain this.
You go for that. I'm going to have a drink.
Watsy is wanting to figure out what's more popular, dogs or cats. Because we got dogs and cats. We got dogs now, dogs and cats. So when you come into the store and you play an event or you buy a sealed Magic product, 1 pack will do it.
Yep.
I have codes to give you for Arena. You tell me if you want a dog or a cat code, and then you go redeem that, and that's like voting for your favorite dog or cat. Now, I'm not going to track it. I can't believe that they want me to track it. So if you come in 2 times in the same week, you can get both codes. 2 codes of the same thing won't do anything for you. You can't get 2 different dog sleeves in week 1. But over 3 weeks, there's 3 different dog sleeves, 3 different cat sleeves. If you just want sleeves, come in, get a dog sleeve and a cat sleeve. You'll be voting. You'll just keep the vote the same. But I'll give you the codes as long as I got it. So that's just up to you. You can either vote or not vote. You can get free 1s and 0s from WotC by taking a code. That's what I got. Seems to me it looks like the temples may be the new core set dual lands because we got them again in core 21, or it may just be because Theros is still in standard and it balances out having all 10 temples. So we'll see come core 2022 if those are the new ones. A lot of years we had Pain lands way back in the day,
right?
And then later we had the check lands.
Yep.
We had the check lands. So anyway, there was a nice article in the Mothership telling us how Basri Cat was designed.
Yeah.
You guys might want to go look that up. I think we're going to breeze past that. We're already at a quarter past.
Yeah, it was interesting. They talk about how he uses the sand. If you notice in the artwork, he uses the sand as a shield, being from Amonkhet. It was...
The interesting thing is that he sparked at a point of elation.
Yes.
Most Planeswalkers spark. Oh my goodness, Taco Bell. They spark from trauma.
Yes.
And Alan brought it to the attention. I hadn't realized this.
That our other Planeswalker we've met from Amonkhet, Samut, also sparked from a moment of elation when she met Hazaret, or was honored by his presence. She sparked from a moment of joy as well, which is very uncommon from what we've ever seen in the multiverse. So when
Basri Cat sparked...
he sparked at the end of his trial catching Oketra's spear, the arrow.
And so he actually ends up using that as his weapon.
He planeswalked away with that arrow.
And of course we know Oketra did not survive.
Right.
So
that was the interesting part about Basri Cat to me, was his faith, and even after he found out Oketra was dead, and he still decided to believe in her message and everything. I found that interesting.
Yeah. I think he's Gideon 2.0.
Essentially, yeah.
But maybe Gideon done better, right? I don't know. I mean, he's still offensive, but he has some defensive capabilities. So we'll see. He's the new white Planeswalker. Yeah. And then we're going to talk a little bit about phasing. If you're not familiar with Teferi, Alan called it last week.
Yep.
You guys recall?
It is the Teferi ability, but I really didn't think we'd see it back. But phasing, it's a really weird ability. It's not as weird as it sounds, I guess. It's literally, the thing you have to remember is things phase when they phase out, and when they phase back in. They're gone when they are phased. But they never leave the battlefield, and they don't enter the battlefield due to phasing.
It's like they're invisible or in another dimension kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can't affect them, do anything to them, but they're still there.
It doesn't kill tokens, like if you had blinked them or something.
You don't lose counters that were on there.
Nope. Everything stays literally the same. It's just like it isn't there for that turn.
It's not a new object. It just reappears.
Then it just phases back in. And
before you're untapped. Boom.
So
you didn't think there was anything before you're untapped? There is.
There is. Things phase back in, so you can untap them and proceed with your turn.
Still early enough, we don't know if there's going to be other phase cards, but Teferi has it on there, and according to the Blogatog entries, they're to maybe be the new style effect.
Right.
Because O-rings actually let you trigger ETBs again.
Right.
You get rid of an O-ring effect, like a Banishing Light or whatever, Baffling End, all those kinds of things. You get rid of it, the creature enters again, you get a new ETB.
Right. And phasing eliminates that. You can make something phase out until X condition is met, then it phases back in, and you're not getting extra triggers.
Right. So that's a thing. That's how phasing works.
Also speaking, hit on Core 21 real quick. We're going to talk about mechanics real quick. Mill's a keyword now, guys. They did it.
Only took 25, 6, 7 years, but we got there.
We got
Millstone. They finally gave up. They couldn't find a better word
Right.
than the word that we all use anyway. So congratulations, Watsy, on doing the obvious
yes.
in that particular instance. So we've got Mill. And we got dogs.
We got dogs.
And we got phasing. And we're going to talk a little bit about Core 21. Then we're going to bust some packs. Okay.
It's pretty good. I'm happy here. Let's,
So we'll start out with some colorless. We got some Ugin.
Ugin.
Big Ugins reprinted.
Big Ugin. Yeah. Big
Ugins reprinted. I don't know that we need to go over that. If you guys want to follow along on whatever your favorite spoiler site is, preview site.
Salvation, Nexus, whatever. Yeah, we start with Ugin in the colorless. We have land. We want to go over Ugin, or
let's go over reprints real quick, because
Okay.
people ought to be familiar with these if you're a Magic player,
Right.
right? So we got an Ugin reprint there, and artifacts. We got a Solemn Simulacrum reprint.
Yes.
And lands, we've got the temples we already mentioned.
Temples and Fabled Passage.
Yeah.
Fabled Passage
that's
is
a really quick reprint of that.
Yeah.
And it's needed.
It is needed. I mean, and I think it's always going to hold its value. They're going to print it a lot, I think, and it's going to hold value.
Yeah, and we're only talking about rares and mythics tonight,
Right.
guys. We hold our commons and uncommons right before we do the pre-release to kind of help you build your deck, because that's mainly what you're going to get.
Right.
We're talking about the bombs as they happen. In black, we get Massacre Worm.
Yeah.
So that's sweet. And we're getting a Grim Tutor reprint.
Yeah,
That's like a $200 card before the reprint.
Yeah.
Mainly because it was in Starter 99, and that's over 2 decades ago.
That's it. It has
Yeah.
never had a reprint.
Yeah, it's never been printed in black border.
Yeah.
So, or foil.
Or foil.
Unless there's a judge. I don't know if there's a judge on that.
I wouldn't be surprised if there was a judge.
I don't know.
But
Let's see. And then green has Azusa.
Yep.
So you want to make 3 land drops a turn?
Who doesn't?
Azusa. It's good.
Heroic Intervention.
Heroic Intervention
That
also
card,
reprinted.
that card was getting up there due to Commander, because I know we hate talking about auto includes, but if you're playing a green creature deck in Commander, you might want to put a Heroic Intervention in there. Someone's going to try to board wipe.
Yeah.
It's the ultimate answer.
And then white has Baneslayer Angel. I think we talked
Baneslayer
about
Angel,
it
yep.
last week.
Big one, Containment Priest.
Containment Priest.
This is its first printing into Modern, I heard people saying that.
Yeah. Yeah, it came out of Commander, so yeah.
Yeah, people are like, oh,
Going into Modern.
it could mess with some things in Modern. So,
And then Ruined Halo also is a reprint.
yes, Ruined Halo.
So, no, that card can't hurt me because I got Ruined Halo.
Right.
That's always good. So that's some of your reprints that you guys, if you want to look them up, if you're not familiar with them,
Yeah.
we were just going to throw those out there real quick. As far as artifacts, I think the 2 that really struck me the most
The most.
is the Spark Hunter Masticore.
He's pretty cool.
3 mana, 3/4. He's a
Already
Masticore, and if you know Masticores, it means you got to discard a card.
Yep.
So when you cast him, you got to discard a card as an additional cost. He has protection from planeswalkers. So
Sweet.
he's a planeswalker killer.
Yeah.
That's his job.
That is his
That's
job.
what he does. For 1 mana, Spark Hunter Masticore deals 1 damage to target planeswalker. And that's not a tap ability, so
Nope.
he can shoot for more. And then for 3 mana activation, also not a tap ability, he gains indestructible end of turn.
Nice.
So I guess if you've got enough mana and somebody kills him in response, you can just activate again. So because it doesn't tap.
Right.
So Spark Hunter, and then Chromatic Orrery. I guess I should have this over here so.
Or
so
I
that
always
you
love
can
when we
say-
get a new orrery. You know,
I don't even know how you pronounce Orrery. Is it Orrery or?
I've always said Vidalcan orrery, so I'm going to say
Orrery.
Chromatic orrery.
Okay.
It's a legendary artifact, 7 mana, and you can spend. It allows you the static ability on it. You may spend mana as though it were mana of any color.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome. You can tap it for 5 colorless mana,
But they can be spent.
but they can be spent as any color. Or you can spend 5 mana, tap it, and draw a card for each color among the permanents you control.
Tailor-made for your 5-color,
Yeah.
Brawl, Commander,
Commander.
Casual, Standard.
Your new
whatever.
Child of Alar deck, since it works now.
Yeah.
You know?
5 mana to tap and draw 5 cards seems really,
I'm
really
in.
solid.
I'm in.
I'm like all over that kind of thing right there.
I think Niv Mizzet will be all on board with that too, probably.
Yeah, it seems pretty okay.
All right.
Multicolor is our buy box card.
Yep.
It's the only rare mythic that we've had so far.
Ren and Siri?
Inseparable.
That's a Naya and 1. So red, green, and white for 1. Which I've heard him already talking about if Naya is going to be the dog and cat color.
It's a 4/4.
Yep.
That's good. Solid stats.
It's a legendary dog cat. Little sad from my childhood. It can't be a cat dog. But whenever you cast a dog spell, you get to create a 1/1 green cat creature. And whenever you create or cast a dog or a cat spell, you get to create a 1/1 white dog creature.
That makes sense.
Obviously. But for Naya, a red, green, and a white, and tap it, Ren and Ciri Inseparable deals damage to any target equal to the number of dogs you control. And then you gain life equal to the number of cats you control.
There you go.
It's pretty cool, actually.
It's pretty cool.
I like it. And I like the artwork, too. I do. It's a good-looking dog, good-looking cat.
It's sort of a giraffe dog, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a...
Sort of a giraffe cat.
Kind of.
They got some big necks.
They got some big necks.
Really long necks, yeah. All right, so in black, I thought we might highlight Liliana.
Liliana, always.
Waker of the Dead, 2 black and 2, 4
loyalty.
4 loyalty. For a +1, each player discards a card. Each opponent who can't loses 3 life. For a -3, target creature gets -X till end of turn, where X is the number of cards in your graveyard. And the big ulti, a -7, you get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn. Put target creature card from a graveyard onto the battlefield under your control. It gains haste.
Yep. Don't get that very often.
Yeah, so we've got that.
You wanted the Thieves Guild Enforcer?
Thieves Guild Enforcer I thought was pretty sweet.
Yeah, it's a 1 black for a human rogue. It's a 1/1 with flash. And whenever Thieves Guild Enforcer or another rogue enters the battlefield under your control, each opponent mills 2 cards.
Mills. So satisfying.
And as long as an opponent has 8 or more cards in their graveyard, Thieves Guild Enforcer gets +2/+1 and has Death Touch. It's a 3/2 Death Toucher with flash for 1 in the right circumstance.
In the right circumstances, yeah. I just don't know why it's 8 cards. 8 cards seems weird.
8 cards does seem weird.
The old threshold mechanic was 7.
I know.
Why is it 8?
I don't know.
It's odd.
I've been noticing we have not got a lot of rogues at any point, but we have had We've had a card the last few sets that are all when you cast rogue, because Robber of the Rich was also triggering.
I think there's another rogue thing in here somewhere.
Is there? I hadn't noticed that yet.
Yeah.
It's like we haven't got like a lot of rogues, but there's been just a little sprinkled here and there.
Yep.
So do we have one more in black?
Vito.
Vito Thorn.
He's a 2-card combo on his own, mostly.
Vito, he's Thorn of the Dusk Rose. That's right. It means he's from Ixalan and he's a vampire. He's a legendary. Whenever he's a 1/3, and whenever you gain life, target opponent loses that much life.
Wait.
And for 3 generic and 2 black, creatures you control gain lifelink until end of turn.
There you go.
That'll do it.
So that's sort of a Sanguine Bond, Exquisite Blood combo together.
Kind of.
Mostly, as long as you got some other creatures.
You gotta have some other creatures.
You gotta have some other creatures, but it's like having both cards in play at once. Sort of, right? So in blue, of course, we got the new Teferi, Master of Time, and he is pretty sweet. We'll see what happens, right?
Yeah.
2 blue and 2, 3 loyalty. He's got a static ability of you may activate loyalty abilities of Teferi, Master of Time on any player's turn. Anytime you can cast an instant.
Oh my lord.
For +1, you draw a card and then discard a card, so just loot.
For I can do it every turn.
-3, target creature you don't control phases out. That's where the phasing came in. We talked about it. So that's his defense system. And then a -10, take 2 extra turns after this one. Now, in Commander, oh my gosh. But in a 2-person, I mean, comes down with 3. If you neg 3 to phase something out, obviously it's going to kill him.
Right.
But if you +1 to draw on your turn, that means on your opponent's turn, at instant speed, you could phase spent to protect him.
Yeah.
He goes back down to 1 loyalty, but he did protect himself that turn.
Yeah.
He's not gonna get back there again by the next time, though.
And Commander, he's only got to stay on the board for 2 of your turns to ult him. I'm just going to say that.
In a 4-player game.
In a 4-player game. Now, hopefully those other 3 players know to make sure that doesn't happen. But
so that's a thing.
That's a thing. And right there next to it's another card you just seem to love, Dad.
Stormwing Entity? Well, it seems good. If they put Flash on it, I'd just say I don't need to play Magic for 2 years. 2 blue and 3. It's a 3/3 elemental, and it costs a blue and 2 less to cast if you've cast an instant or sorcery spell this turn. Flying. Prowess. I'm not done. When Stormwing Entity enters the battlefield, scry 2. So if they'd have gave it Flash, it'd just be like, well, I'm going to counter your thing on your turn. I'm going to play this big guy. Oh, it's my turn. I'm going to draw some cards, make him bigger, and whack you. But, no Flash.
No Flash.
So all the rest of us have a shot. But he seems good. You blue players will probably find fault in him, but he seems fine.
I think we also wanted to touch See the Truth here.
See the Truth seems pretty good. That's to play with your Snappy.
Yeah, it's a blue and 1 sorcery. You get to look at the top 3 cards of your library, put one of those cards in your hand and the rest on the bottom of the library in any order. And if it was cast from anywhere other than your hand, put each of those cards into your hand instead.
Yeah. 2 mana sorcery to draw 3.
Yep.
Not horrible.
Not horrible at all.
Not horrible. Let's check out some green.
Green.
So we'll take a look at the card you said you were reading is unplayable because it doesn't have an ETB. Sad, because it's a Baneslayer killer.
It is. This thing is, it makes our old questing beast look like a little bit of nothing. It is Elder Gargaroth. It is 3 generic and 2 green for a beast, a 6/6 beast. So 5 mana for a 6/6 beast with Vigilance, Reach, and Trample. And whenever Elder Gargaroth attacks or blocks, choose one.
Choose one.
Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. Gain 3 life. Or draw a card.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. It's that's a lot of stuff on a card. That is a lot of stuff on that card.
So that's making 2 tokens a turn, gaining 6 life a turn, or drawing 2 cards a turn, or some combination thereof. Attacks or blocks. Well, they have to have something to attack you to block with. Right. So potentially.
Right.
Magical Christmas Land is the only land we know.
But yeah, everybody was just talking about how it should have just been Thrag Tusk because at least that's useful. You get your life right away.
Meanwhile, all of y'all like me that have been waiting on the big man to return, he's back. Garrick is in the house. He is back. He has been unleashed for 2 green and 2, 4 loyalty. This is what he do. +1. Up to 1 target creature gets +3/+3 and gains trample at the end of turn. That's Garrick. That is what Garrick does. -2. Create a 3/3 green beast creature token. He does that too. Then,
this is interesting.
If an opponent controls more creatures than you, put a loyalty counter back on him. It's a rebate. He gets one of them back. It only costs you 1 loyalty to make a beast.
That's pretty awesome.
So you're going to catch up on creatures quick with Garrick, right?
Yep. And then the ult is...
The big neg 7, it's an emblem.
It's an emblem.
At the beginning of your end step, you may search your library for a creature card. Put it on the battlefield, then shuffle your library. Oh, yeah. Where's Galt at when you need it?
Yeah.
So, Garrick Unleashed looks pretty juicy. We want to go ahead and hit red.
Yeah,
We're getting close to the pack busting. Thanks for holding. I know we're at an hour, but we're really close. Closer than I thought we would be.
Right. Well, we want right up here at the top. Want to hit Chandra first, I think. Or did you have Chandra on the list?
Chandra, Heart of the Fire?
Yeah.
Heart of Fire.
Heart of Fire. 3 generic, 2 red. She starts with 5 loyalty, which is pretty good. She has a +1 of discard your hand, and then exile the top 3 cards of your library. Till end of turn, you may play cards exiled this way.
she's at the top of your curve in your red deck.
Yeah.
So even if you got a couple cards that are probably not that great, you play her out, you discard them, you try to.
It's a
get something
closer.
better. It's a closer.
It's a closer because in red, if you like me and you've played a lot of red, you can run out of cards. You've also got another +1 on this Chandra.
2+1s.
Shock. Okay. Chandra, Heart of Fire, deals 2 damage to any target. Shock. Pretty good. And then the Neg 9. This ultimate looks pretty sweet. Search your graveyard and library for any number of red instant and or sorcery cards. Exile them, then shuffle your library. You may cast them this turn. Add 6 red mana.
So it gives you some mana to do it with, let you pick them out. Seems all right.
Seems good.
Seems pretty good. We definitely want to talk about Fiery Emancipation.
Fiery Emancipation, which makes me...
After getting, what was it, Nyx Ancient? Is that
Nyx Bloom Ancient.
Nyx Bloom Ancient.
Nyx Burn. We've been calling this Nyx Burn online.
Nyx Burn. All right, well, so doubling wasn't good enough.
No. Furnace of Wrath.
Doubling is old school. Now we got tripling.
Tripling. And I love, this is the best part about it, 3 generic and 3 red.
3 and 3 for triple up.
3 and 3. If a source you control would deal damage to a permanent or player, deals triple that damage to that permanent or player instead.
Pretty simple.
That's all it needs to say.
Booyah.
Makes me happy.
All right. And then, what?
Oh, yeah.
Transmogrify. Transmogrify is basically a polymorph for red.
It is a polymorph for red. It's a...
Red and 3, sorcery, exile target creature. That creature controller reveals card until they reveal a creature card, and they put that card on the battlefield, then shuffle the rest. Boom.
Boom.
And the last one, we'll look at Gadrak here.
Gadrak's interesting just because of the rate.
The Crown Scourge, a red and 2 for a 5/4 flyer. That's too good, isn't
That's too... It is.
Well, that's because can attacker attack unless you control 4 or more artifacts. However, at the beginning of your end step, create a treasure token for each non-token creature that died this turn. So, kill some creatures, reap rewards.
Yeah.
So,
also a really good top-down. I saw someone go, this is just Smog, right? And kind of Smog. Yeah.
Kind of Smog. All right, so and then white, we're just going to hit on the fact that we talked about Basri Cat, but I don't think we've given you
his
stats.
He's a Gideon casting cost. He's 2 white and 1 generic.
Yeah. 3 loyalty.
3 loyalty. He has a +1 of put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 target creature. He gains indestructible till end of turn. He's got a neg 2 that whenever you 1 or more non-token creatures attack this turn, create that many 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. That's pretty good. And then he's got a -6. You get an emblem with at the beginning of combat on your turn, create a 1/1 white soldier creature token, then put a 1/1 counter on each creature you control. Oh, seems good.
Seems good. Seems good. And the last card we're going to hit on is
Mangara.
White's Solution to card draw.
Yeah, I didn't need to do
Watch Reblogatog if you want to hear us talk more about this. But Mangara the Diplomat, a white and 3 for a 2/4 lifelinker. Legendary creature, human cleric.
Can be your commander.
Yep. Whenever an opponent attacks with creatures, if 2 or more of those creatures are attacking you and or planeswalkers you control, draw a card. So it does require your opponent to attack you with 2. And then whenever an opponent casts their second spell each turn, draw a card. So if they just cast 1 spell a turn, so it's all on them.
It is all on them.
They can either let you draw a card or they can just slow their roll.
Commander, this thing's going to be great. Because if you can cast them on curve, turn 4, people are casting 2 spells a turn even by turn 4 in Commander. They're still rampant, right? So,
Yep. All right, guys, we're going to bust some packs.
I'm going to slide on out of frame here and get ready.
Yep. Hopefully some of you guys are able to come out this week or tomorrow, and just tomorrow.
It is tomorrow night. We will be playing Standard.
Play some Standard and pick these things up. I'm going to hand them all out to those of you involved in such a thing.
If any of you guys have a good idea on what I should build for Standard tomorrow night, just shoot me a message. All right. So here are our packs. Like always, those foils will stay for the last. And we'll get to cracking here.
It's not pistachios. Get Kraken. Release the Kraken.
Maybe we'll get a Kraken in here.
Maybe.
All right, well, there's a Teferi Time Raveler to start things off. Forbidden Friendship for F&M. And a Mythos of a Luna. Oh, I don't know where I was putting those.
Is our lighting bad here?
Lighting's a little
All right.
bad.
We are set up different than we have been, so
Yep.
that's on us.
I didn't realize that until doing that first pack there. And
Yeah.
all right, guys. Hey, there's a Villas. We've been pulling Villases a lot lately. Let's all make our Black Commander decks. Another Forbidden Friendship. And a Mythos of Brokos this time.
Wow, 2 Mythos in a row.
2 Mythos in a row. All right, another Villas.
Wow.
Migration Path. And there's an Ozolith.
Ozolith. Sweet.
Mm-hmm. Moving counters around. Experimental Frenzy. There we are, guys. People still playing that. Still got a few months till rotation.
Yep.
Kennen. The Bonder Prodigy. Alright.
I promise we'll work on the lighting for next week.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Looked like a land on top. It's Karn's Bastion. Sprite Dragon. And Yorion, Sky Nomad. There's one of our companions. You got to play those 80 card decks, guys. Don't forget.
Is it any better on this side of the screen?
Maybe.
Less shadow.
We'll see here.
Yeah, we will fix for next week.
Ugin, the Ineffable. Little Ugin.
Yeah, I think it's a little better on that side.
Another Forbidden Friendship. And we have Offspring's Revenge in that last slot. That's our Mardu rare enchantment out of Ikoria there. Let's get into these foils, guys.
Foils, 2 packs to go. Water are ripping out of here. Come out for F&M tomorrow and take a shot.
Or stop by my house. Help me build my deck first. All right. Clever Impersonator. Hey, there we go.
Yeah, that's Commander Juicy.
Yeah, it is. Ooh, that's foil Sprite Dragon's pretty.
7-Up Dragon, we're calling them here locally.
Titan's Nest in foil. That's the or whatever they call Sultai in Ikoria. I don't remember.
We're going to stick with the originals. We're not changing up now. Pack.
Last pack, guys. What do we got here? Deafening Clarion.
Still
Really pretty in foil.
Yeah.
Migratory Path.
Migration.
Oh, sorry.
Tory.
I was thinking of a Migratory Greathorn.
That's not what it is.
I know. Ooh! Song of Creation. I gotta find the deck for this card. It just does all the things I want to do. Play more lands, draw more cards, discard them all.
All the fun things.
All the fun things, guys. Well, thank you very much for sticking with us through the show.
Hope you guys enjoyed it. Any comments or stuff we need to know of there?
No, but right there, Charles just dropped a nice, tasty morsel for us all to know. He thinks he might have got Tarl back into playing Magic.
Oh, my goodness.
All right. Well, guys, thanks a lot for hanging out with us, and we will see you again next week and see you
Or see you here at the Guild tomorrow.
where everybody
knows your game.